We're on it. Okay. Good morning, wherever you are. I'm in New York. It's 2 minutes past 1 New York time. Uh, Base Pair time is like 1:30 yesterday. Good afternoon to all of you out there. This is the big band feature today. What we hope to do is inspire you to buy some big band music. I have some right here momentarily. The big band stuff, probably out there in the other room. We're going to encourage you to buy some arrangements. I've recorded 7 big band records, and for sale is music from 4 of those records. We'll talk about that as we get going here. Right now, we'll kill some time by having you watch me in a nice orange Halloween shirt before Halloween. Let's open up the program. This is a couple of things, actually. I'm at the club in New York called Birdland, a 3-week color. We call it the 3-week Ron Carter 81st birthday residency. And the event starts on August 16 with the big band. October 16 to 20, the big band. October 23 to 27, the quartet with Jimmy Green. And October 30th to November 3 with the trio of Russell Malone and Donald Vega. So you'll see me in 3 different environments wearing a lot of different ties and different shoes. Come by and say hello. Speaking of say hello, there's a advantage to ordering this big band stuff that looks kind of like this. And we'll talk about some big band questions, and the prize will be a WDR CD. It's a wonderful band that's located in Cologne, Germany, and I was part of their ensemble for a week. This is one of the songs that's for sale from that record and from my big band catalog. This. Let me see all of me. This. Inside. Okay. And there's a special offer right now. You get 20% off the cost if you go and click Shop Now on your Facebook page, I think. I'm new at this vocabulary, so if I stumble over a few words other than and or though, just forgive an old guy at my age. Okay, it's time for some questions that I hope I can answer.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the collaboration with WDR Big Band?
They're a really good band in Europe, and one of the things I admire about them happening is that they're hired by the radio station. They've been in force for over 20 years. The band members are on salary. They have good hospitalization insurance and dental, just like a real job. They're permanent. The personnel is permanent. They exchange days off. They have vacations. Who've heard of that, man? Jazz got taking vacation. Anyway, there are a bunch of wonderful, lovely people, male and female ladies. And I was their guest for a week, and we did 3 concerts and recorded 2 albums. They're great sound system. They're great players. What they do is I send them to the library to record and for the concert, and they practiced with the guy John Goldsby, who was a bass player with the orchestra. And when I got to Germany on like a Wednesday, we rehearsed on Wednesday and made the 4 concerts actually with the big band and recorded later on. So the WDR radio band, this is proof of me being there. This is the prize. Okay, question number 2.
And we have Christian Marcus
asking,
do you prefer a certain sound setup for the bass in a big band context?
Absolutely. One of the things I've tried to do, if you've seen me play with a big band, is I have my speaker on the stand, a microphone stand that's approximately my ear level, about 6 feet from the ground, that's near my ear, above the drums and above the piano lid. So the sound of my bass is able to fill the big band players and fill the room. I kind of insist on that when I play big band. I need all the help I can get. All bass players do in the big band. And when you got guys who scream and play real loud and good all night, I want to be silently competitive to those guys. So I have my setup, and I'm pretty sure that works pretty good. So October 13 to October 20, Birdland Big Band, 16 pieces, and they're my friends.
Spiro Stilovate is asking, any nice big band album to hear? And for the first time, what song do you suggest?
Any big band? I like Tom Bass's big band. Rhythm section of Freddie Green and Eddie Jones, and just the sound of those guys was just phenomenal to me. That Freddie Green would actually carry the big band with where he thought the beat should be, and Eddie Jones agreed with that. A nice band. I enjoyed Duke Ellington's band with Sonny Payne with a great bass drum sound. Those are my two favorites off the top of my head.
Peter Lynn is asking, who are your favorite big band arrangers? I personally used to work with Slide Hampton before.
I like Slide. I've done a lot of big band stuff with Don Sebesky, Gil Evans, Rich DeRosa. Those guys I've written for me recently. Oliver Nelson, of course, wonderful big band writer. Those are my top 4 lists, again, without sitting down and figuring out who would be the top 10. But any arrangements by those 4 people are exceptional and makes the bass player feel like he's really part of the band rather than just some guy playing the ink back here.
Paulo Santos is asking, what are the differences between playing bass in a big band in contrast to playing bass in a piano trio?
About 13 people. With a big band, you have 16, 17 pieces, and they're all depending on you as you are from them for ideas of play, the intonation, the dynamic of the band, the presence of the band. With a trio, you have only 2 other guys to worry about. That's pretty good odds for me.
What was it like recording with Tad Demer?
Exciting. I knew Tad's name from the early bebop days, and to know that he would welcome me as a stranger to him, those Riverside dates was truly a beginning of my pleasurable experiences in New York playing with groups more than 2 or 3 people, especially someone as famous as Tad Dameron, who wrote some great bebop tunes with Charlie Parker.
Sam is asking, which big band albums would you recommend for learning and transcribing?
What do you want to transcribe for the big band?
We're still waiting for the answer.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what the purpose of that would be, so when I find out, I'll give you an answer that's reasonable, I think. Having said that, big band charts are still available, a special offer, 20% off if you hit shop now on your Facebook screen. Come on, Sam, I'm kind of killing time here, waiting for you.
We have Francisco Gomez in the meantime.
Okay.
He's asking, what are your favorite big band musicians' rhythm section, for example?
Freddie Green, Charlie Persip plays drums, Peyton Crosley on drums, Lewis Nash on drums. Herbie Hancock is a wonderful big band player. Gil Evans is a wonderful big band piano player. Donald Vega, just to name a few people who I've enjoyed playing with down through the years of big band concepts and feelings. Is Sam still in the neighborhood? I'm still waiting, Sam.
Sam is silent, but we have James Joyner.
Okay.
A little bit off topic, but he's asking, after reading your book, I have been listening to a lot of Oscar Pettiford. Can you recommend any good albums he played on? Thanks.
Wait 1 minute. MNOP.
Do you want me to look for it?
Ready? Here's one. A great record, Oscar Pettiford, Deep Passion. Here's two, Oscar Pettiford, Benny Burke, a wonderful accordion player, by the way. Let's do like this. Great record. The best of Oscar Pettiford. These are three great Oscar Pettiford CDs that I happen to have in my closet over there under the P's, that's in Pettiford. So buy any one of these three and you will have a chance to hear Oscar Pettiford in various size ensembles, playing a pretty wide library of songs, mostly his, and they're just incredible. Oscar Pettiford. Is that Sam back with the answer now? Come on, Sam.
We have Kim on, Sauce, asking, how was it working with Ernie Wilkins' big band?
Again, that was my early days in New York, and I was excited to be considered considered capable of playing with Ernie Wilkins and Charlie Persip, Yusuf Lateef, I mean, Sheldon Powell, saxophone player, Thad Jones, I mean, Ernie Royal, just the Jimmy Cleveland, just the guys there who were history of the music, and to know that this person from Eastman School of Music has come stumbled to New York and on 1 year later is making records for the Ernie Wilkins Library. Truly amazing. And I kind of stumble, at least when I look at this library and see that these guys are there, man. It's just amazing to know that they welcomed me with open arms and trusted my judgment as a stranger who played pretty decent bass.
Francisco Gomez is asking if you could share a little bit more about the role of the rhythm section in a big band.
Well, you know, it's just the same as a small group. Their job is to kind of set the table for the band. I think one of the differences between the big bands and small groups is that the backgrounds with big bands are generally already prescribed. The guys know when they're going to play it. They know on cue what they're going to play. They play it with conviction. With a small group, it changes every 20 minutes depending on how good the band is and how involved the arrangements are. In a big band, you have 16 guys who are all trying to play in tune. 16 guys all reading the parts. 16 guys who are determined to be a part of the presentation of the music. A small group, of course, you only got 3 people in case of a trio, so there are fewer chances to have those kind of options so available to you. I think a trio is a little more complicated because you don't have so much interference or so many other ideas to contend with. You're kind of limited to the 3 of what you can think of right then. You have 16 guys playing trombone, saxophone, the horns, the drums. There are 16 people who have a concept as to how this band and how this song, how this arrangement can sound different every night. And those guys trust our judgment, the bass player, piano, and drummer, to be able to be flexible enough to match their intent on making the arrangement sound this much different than last night. Take our chances. Is that Sam calling on my cell phone?
Peter Lynn is asking, a lot of great musicians we love started in big bands. How do you feel that affected the scene back then versus now where maybe big bands are not as common?
Well, they aren't as common because people don't have the budget size to hire them. They're available. There's a lot of rehearsal bands in New York where they just get together at the Union, for example, every Monday night. I think they have big band rehearsals and band jamming with big bands. I think the difference now is that not only is it a dearth of financial assistance for big bands, but they aren't encouraged to write for more than 3 people. The size and concept of big band is not so interesting to people. I think the other issue, one of the things small group players learned in playing with a big band was you have one chorus to sound wonderful. I think that discipline of knowing that you had a short time to play a solo, the discipline of knowing that you were trying to say and play in tune with 14 or 15 other players who were playing the same chord, playing the same A440. I think the dynamic, the volume, how important is your note in the section? how important is your section's importance to the band sound. A smaller group, you just had to contend with bass, drums, and piano, or bass, drums, and saxophone, or whatever the small group you had. So the choices were a lot more difficult to come by because you had fewer people helping you make these decisions. I missed playing big bands, which is why my friend asked me would I be interested in starting or making a record with one about 6 years ago. And while I didn't jump at the chance, I'm a little old to be jumping anywhere, I thought that was a good chance for me to see if I really enjoyed those bands as much as I did back in those days. I have, and I do.
Eugenio Veneri is asking, how much is important to play and study orchestral bass lines and lines in general to learn about the instrument and the language?
I think that goes back to a question I was asked last week. Why do you study bass? Can't you just jam anymore? And the answer is absolutely not. I would encourage this person who asked this question to not be so concerned about orchestral bass, however he defines that, or big band bass, or small group. Get a teacher who can show you the instrument, who will teach you some choices, who will get you a bass book, who will recommend you some etudes, some exercises to understand how the bass works, develop some skill level. Understand if you're in the position, what notes are there. I think to think orchestral bass or big band bass or small group bass will be enough to help you get over it is not a good idea. I think you're guaranteed to fail because there's not enough stuff that they can show you in a big band or in a small group to show you how to play the instrument. I think it's just not possible. Sorry.
It's time for a quiz now.
Okay. Now I have a QUIZ quiz. Yes, thank you. I've made several big band records over my 60-year recording career. And I'd like you to pick two of the ones that you think were most unique, either in personnel, either in library, either in currency, either in cover. Give me your views of two of the records that you feel out of my big band history, my big band recorded library, that you feel are two of the most interesting and important ones of my big band career. And the winner of this contest will get this big band record. This is the inside. This is the outside. And inside is the disc. I'm still waiting for Sam. Sam, hope I didn't put you off, and please don't get upset with me. I just think that I'm asking you a question that will maybe enlighten me about this much more. Why would you want to transcribe a big band arrangement, and what are you looking for to do that? I personally am not a fan of transcribing, but I'll set that aside if I can help you answer what you think you need to know.
Peter Lynn is saying the magic touch.
Am I supposed to answer that now?
I'm not sure if he's referring to the quiz.
Well, I know that record with Dad Dammer. Okay. We have to, the answer is two though. I have to have two records that you think are big band, my big band library that you feel are special. So we can't get that prize away because you only have to answer half the question.
Can you give us more hints?
No. No, he understands the answer. He just didn't give me a full answer. By the way, I'm at Birdland October 16 to 20 with Ron Carter's great big band. I'm there October 27, October 3 to 27 with the quartet with Irene Rosnes, Peyton Crossley, and the saxophonist Jimmy Green. And I'm there November 30 to October 30 to November 3 with the trio of Russ Malone, Donald Vega, and myself. So please come by any three of those nights and see how the bass responds to all this talent around me and see how the guys dress so nice and wearing different ties. Mine will be the same. Thanks. Another question. Have you ordered a big band chart yet? That's the question. The answer is no. Well, look, if you go on your screen and hit shop now, you get this bass, get this. One of the choices of the big band library we have is Scores and parts. The 20% discount for the next month. Don't wait. This is one song from the Ron Carter Big Band catalog.
We have some possible answers.
Okay.
Cameron Magic Touch and George Benson Giblet Gravy.
It's not a big band. It's a nice record though, with Herbie Hancock, Billy Cobham, Grady Tate, George Benson, arrangements by Tom McIntosh. It's a great record, but it's not a big band record.
Then we have Ron Carter's Great Big Band and My Personal Songbook.
Those are two very good records, but they're kind of not as unusual as I'm hoping you'd find.
Then Magic Touch and Total J.J. Johnson.
That J.J. Johnson is a very good record. I met J.J. years ago when he played to Rochester, New York with his band with Nat Adderley. What a great band. Tootie Heath, Tommy Flanagan. That's one answer of that answer is correct. The other one is not answered. So we need to have somebody who has two, what I consider really special LPs of big band style of my growing career. Sam, come on, man. I'm just hanging around waiting for you.
James Joyner says, I enjoyed your playing on McCoy Tynes extensions and your work on Aretha Franklin's Soul 69.
Okay, we have two great choices, but I think the McCoy Tyner record, given how strong McCoy played, he could have carried the band by himself. One line McCoy Tyner's story is that when I first started making records with him, as you know, McCoy plays really a lot of left-hand fourths and fifths down here, and I told McCoy, if he wants to be my friend, don't play past the S in Steinway. So that's answer for that band. That's half correct. That's two good choices. One of them I think is okay. The other one is less than spectacular to not think about.
We can ask them to leave comments.
Yeah, and you can keep trying. I mean, the set is open, the line is open, even though I've taken a nap with my milk and cookies before. We've got about 4 minutes left. So, but 1 more minute left? Okay, we have time. Sam.
One more question. Matt Stubbs, do you feel more exposed taking a bass solo over a big band chart than a small ensemble?
A bass player takes a solo should never feel exposed. I'm just lucky to have the chance to do something with everybody hanging around all the time. I think, though, you know, my view of soloing is not that it's critical to be a successful bass player. I think a successful bass player can make everyone sound better because he's there. I think it's hard to do that if you're soloing and everyone's watching you do a solo. I'm not sure that solves the problem of making them play better. So I'm not so interested in soloing as a means of becoming necessary in that band to help the music sound good. Sorry.
And last question, Brian Sampson. Do you ever feel that small combo work doesn't translate well to a big band?
Or if you got a good band, it'll translate anywhere. I've done some small group that have walked into a big band setting. As a matter of fact, what my big band works in New York, one of the tunes of every set is a trio literally steps out of the big band and plays a trio tune. And it's just great to have that difference in sound, difference in intensity, difference in key, difference in intent, difference in library. That the more tight they are, the better the big band's going to sound. And my band at the Birdland on October 16 to 20, if you come by any night we're playing there, you'll see the rhythm section just step outside the band and play a trio song as a part of the band library for the set. And you'll be surprised how that just lightens up the band. Everyone goes like this, especially the bass player. I think that's all for today. I'm waiting for Sam. I hang around a little bit longer and say, well, we're gone right now. Get back to us and I want to answer your question somewhere or other. Thanks. I'll see you a month from today. Enjoy my shirt and happy Halloween.